What is good,
Hey,
everybody? What is good? It's Big Game James, man. We back in the building. We back in these streets. Yes, myself, Mike White. You know, burgers and blitzes. You know about that show. Sorry we didn't start at the 6:30 time we usually do, but hey, life happens. But we here. What's going on, Big Mike? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? First, we going to a reason why I'm doing good is first we're gonna talk about these Mavericks, though. You feel
Yes,
me?
sir. I
Let's
figure
talk
I'd let
about
you
these.
talk a little basketball.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta jump on and talk about these Mavericks right quick. First of all, I'm gonna have to give myself some props on this because when they were still playing the Clippers, and it was like Game 4, I said we get past these Clippers, we upsetting OKC. That's what I called. I didn't think it was in 6. I didn't know if it was 6, but we was gonna beat them. Boom, we got that victory. Also said while they was playing those Nuggets, those Timberwolves and Nuggets was playing, I said, them Nuggets get past them Timberwolves, they're gonna go ahead. I think they beat the Mavs. I think they got maybe a little too much. I think Joker a little too much, whatever. I said, but if the Timberwolves will win, I think we can beat them Timberwolves. They're here, they're in. But they're gonna be a task because Anthony Edwards is on a whole different level. Uh, my dog, I mean, they got Carl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. I mean, they got good they're good on the perimeter defense. Mike Conley Jr. They got guys, Nas Reed, he's pretty good. He can shoot the three. They got a lot of elements and they're big. But they didn't play Gafford and when PJ Washington, they were not with the squad when we played them. And also Derek Lively missed a game also with them
Hmm.
when Kyrie and Luca won that game. So a lot of missing parts were happening before they play them. Now it's going to be a contest. And in game one, in my head, I think, is it going to be the same game one it usually is, where they get blown out the water and just to be able to understand the team and jump back in game two? I think it could be that type of game just because Minnesota's going to be hyped. They're going to be at home. Anthony Edwards, I feel like, is wants to go crazy after not having the greatest game on his last game against the Nuggets. So I feel like it's going to be might be one of those games, but we'll see. But I'm taking my Mavs in 7, getting to the final since 2011. Let's go.
I mean, if somebody needs to go crazy, Kyrie and Luca need to step up. Like,
Man,
and people get
cut it
mad.
out.
Hey, hey. What I'm saying is, you can't have a final 7 minutes where you get one combined point between your two star players. There needs to be Luca needs to come out there. I know he's hurt, but you know why he's hurt is it frustrates the hell out of me because the NBA
You
is his
still
day job.
talking about that? Oh
Yeah,
my God, they all play off season. Luca been doing his thing. If Luca didn't turn up in that game 5, they wouldn't have won. He's the reason why they
I
won that
I,
game.
I, understand, I understand that.
He stopped all
He's
that
all
barking at the refs. He went in and went hard. When he just plays the game and don't worry about the refs, gets everybody involved early because guess what, Mike? We need them role players. When them role players score, that makes the game easier for Luca. So we need those
for
guys
sure.
like the Derrick Jones Jr., the PJ Washingtons to continue to show those points and don't have to feel like those guys have to do it every single time. But at
I
the
can
end of
turn
the
my
day,
radio down.
in this series, yes, it's got to be them two. Especially Kyrie. I believe he only averaged 15 points the last series against OKC. So he definitely going to have a big series
That's
against these
that's what I,
Timberwolves if
that's
they're
what I
going to have
said.
a
I'm not
chance.
saying it gets
What's up, everybody?
misconstrued.
Too.
When he comes into the year nursing a knee. It's the same knee that's hurting him in the playoffs. He's been hurt. He's been dragging that leg all year. I want to see Luca come into the season healthy because he wasn't overseas wearing his body out. Which these a lot of these other dudes that do play overseas take their nutrition and stuff more serious. We know when Luca's not on the court, he's playing Overwatch. We know it because he streams, and he's like one of the top 3% players in the freaking world. It's frustrating watching somebody who could be absolutely phenomenal. Talked about.
He's already phenomenal,
I I
dog.
I, I understand that. I'm not disagreeing. The level he could be at if he got to that sociopathic mentality with his nutrition and his body, the level he could be at would be like a white LeBron James with a 3 point shot.
I mean, he already. I mean, he's on
I
that
understand. I
level, right?
understand. I understand that, but you know he's leaving shit on the table because this is how
True.
good he is. This is how good he is with not being all the way sociopathic with it. You know that there's a reason Tom Brady got 7 rings. The dude plucked the seeds out of the strawberries. You know what I mean? That's
I feel what you I hear what you're saying, but I can't agree with it, dog, because if you've seen what he's done since his rookie season, he's the reason why they may almost beat and upset the Clippers because he had that killer instinct. He's the one that put the whole team on his
yes.
back. There's the
When he's
he
pissed,
has that in, but he is that, and when he's dialed in, he's unstoppable. But you got
yes,
to understand, there's other working parts that have to happen, and I
I
feel
understand that
like as
fully.
long those working parts, that's going to be all right. But right now, they both got to turn up. You were right. Both of
Yes,
those guys got to turn up in this game, these
it's a
playoffs against
conference.
these Timberwolves,
It's a
because
conference, man.
if they don't, they're not going to get. Because I really believe if they can get past these Timberwolves and get in these finals, I feel like they can win. They can win another championship. Especially, I mean, Boston will be tough for sure, or Indiana pissed that game away. But it'll be interesting to see what happens
Man,
tonight. Is it going?
I wanted to run up against Carlisle. I wanted Jason Kidd
That's what I'm
versus
saying.
Carlisle.
That's what
I
I'm
wanted,
saying.
I
That's what I
wanted,
mean. That's what I mean.
it's,
But Carlisle still doing goofy stuff. It's three. You got a 3 point lead. Why are you not fouling? That's just
hey,
goofy. Everybody knows that.
on that tip, I'm a casual shit, but there's people who I talk to and understand ball more than I do as far as basketball is concerned. I don't pretend to know what I'm talking about. Carlisle came out in that press conference and fell on the sword and said, "We lost that game because of me." What I was understanding is the way it was explained to me, the dude that was squared up on that 3 point shot, if he would have got fouled, that turns that into a 4 point shot because with you fouling, he's probably going to make it, and he's getting the free throw attempts. That's why they didn't foul. So, and it got turned back into the 3 point attempt that didn't get taken by the Pacers. I'm sorry, I
Halberton.
forgot. Yeah, I forgot the name, but there's a 3 point shot he didn't take. He kind of did a Ben Simmons
And
with
he,
it.
and he did, and they turned the ball over numerous times when they
Yeah,
had the lead.
it was
That's
what it
why
like
they
five
gave them the
turnovers.
chance. Yeah,
It was
they
like
had
five or
like
seven
five, but they
turnovers.
had like three turnovers right before Jalen Brown got to do that shot. If they don't turn over the ball, the game is over. You feel what I'm saying? So that's bad ball playing, bad IQ on the players, and then that's bad coaching at the end. I understand that you don't want to foul that guy 3 point shot, but they had opportunities to get to them before he got to that area to get to that 3 point shot. So that was the whole point of it. Don't even let
Yeah,
squeeze him off that baseline so he doesn't even get a chance to do that.
I
But it's
respect
all good.
that
We're
Carlisle
gonna
will own
see.
something.
Hey,
He will
Carlisle's
go out
in
there
there
and
with the
own it.
Pacers. I got to give him props. You left the Mavericks, left for dead, and you went to the Pacers, and now you got him in the
You
Eastern
know,
Conference Finals. I got to give him props.
he recommended Jason Kidd to Mark
Hmm.
Cuban and Nico Harrison, right?
Hmm.
So that's kind of funny. I would love to see them. I would. It was almost like a made for lifetime, like 3 p.m. one of your grandma's stories little movie that comes on with the ex coach and the new coach protege coming on and facing each other. That would have been cool. Um.
Yeah.
So I think we burned 10 minutes on basketball. You
Mhm.
want to get into the
Uh, uh,
football? Or you want to get into?
let's get into it.
I could talk to
Take
hockey
the
too if you
wheel.
want.
Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel right now. It's
Why
OTAs, OT. What?
why is Lamar Jackson? I'm just looking at a couple different questions. So Les Talks has said, got to understand Luca been playing since he's pro ball. Yes, that's part of it. He needs to be a pro because he's. It bothers me the way people talk about how he's been a pro, but yet he won't take it professionally. And his life would suck if he revolved around basketball. No, it wouldn't, because he would probably have at least a finals appearance by now. Um, and one would
Not
argue
with the
that your
teams
life
he had.
not one would argue that your life wouldn't suck if you just got the rings. Like, so what? You don't get to eat strawberries. So what? You don't get to play Overwatch. This is maybe 7 years of your life, maybe. And if you put all of it that we see you have, you put all of it into there. There's a level this dude can reach that he's not. It's the same thing. It's the same way I felt about Romo, where it was his day job. And Connor asked, "Why is Lamar Jackson always sick?" Well, Lamar Jackson quit drinking. That's why he lost weight, and that's why he was drinking because he was always sick. Now we can breeze right past that. So it's long. If we're long enough away, there was a he was he was part. He got out of Louisville. He got from Baltimore, and he was turning up a little bit. And there's where those mysterious sick days were coming from Lamar Jackson. He was drinking. He was partying too much and putting on weight, and he quit drinking. And now he's hopefully ready to go because Lord knows after last year the NFL needs more quarterbacks. God, that was bad. That was bad towards the end of the year, man. We can't go through another year like that because the quarterbacks drive this game. There's a reason they're so protected. We all get mad about it. I get mad about it. We all get mad about it when a fingernail catches somebody and they throw a flag or whatever, especially when they don't throw it when Dak gets harpooned in the head. But you see what happens when these quarterbacks go down and what it does to the league, man. It's bad. It's bad, bad. So I'm all for more quarterback play. If Lamar Jackson and the way he progressed as a passer last year was actually impressive. I've always been on him for that. But then once again, he got to the playoffs and fell apart. But I guess that only matters when Dak does it.
Hey, both of them need to step up. Let's keep it real. But let's talk
Yeah,
about
for
these
sure.
OTAs, big dog.
Yes, sir.
OTAs is here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're talking about the no shows. We all know that's not a big deal. It's OTAs. It's voluntary. But Zach Martin wasn't there. Parsons wasn't there. CD Lamb wasn't there. Trevin Diggs not there. I can't remember who else was not there. But what's your kind of thoughts on the initial OTAs, the beginning of OTAs? What's kind of your thoughts?
Two thoughts. Gilly's still a free agent. Don't like that. Two, it is OTAs. And like I've said, the next important date, circle this date, put it in your count. Oh, Osa was there. He was on the sideline.
Yeah.
Um, put it in your calendar, June 11th. June 11th is mandatory minicamp. I don't care. I literally do not care if Parsons is in Australia hunting kangaroos right now. I really don't care. I don't need to see him practice. Matter of fact, last training camp, I was asking if they could sit him a couple plays so the offensive line could get some actual work in because he kept destroying everything.
Hmm.
I don't care if he's not there. But June 11th, now that's a different conversation. Now that's a different conversation. I don't care if you're practicing. Are you here? Because if you're not here, or it'd be Oxnard, if you will, you know. But man, they got three players that we've been talking about this. Now, one of them, I feel like we've been talking about the Dak contract for 8 years.
Hmm.
That's going to figure itself out. Either they'll come out, they'll pull their hat out of their ass and give him a deal we're signing, or he'll be gone. That's simple. Simple as that.
Hmm.
Now you got to figure out CD Lamb and Micah Parsons. The CD Lamb, I've been talking about this since January with the CAA and athletes first. CAA athletes first beef. One of them's rep. Justin Jefferson is rep by CAA, who the two, Dave Muguleta and Todd France, used to work with CAA. And Todd France went and started athletes first. There's bad beef there because he poached a couple agents. People think he poached some players. There was literally a lawsuit about it where there was a settlement. There is a cold war going on between Jefferson and Lamb. Whoever signs first loses, but also wins. You sign, your guy gets guaranteed money. He gets this, that, and the other. Within 4 days of Jefferson and or Lamb signing, the other one signing. That's how that's going to work. And there's no, at this point, there's literally zero incentive for either one to sign because it's, hey, there's no training camp, there's no anything. They may be training somewhere, they may not. That doesn't matter. So once that happens, JJ and CD don't have the same agent. They have totally different agencies. Um, that's what's holding everything up. Well, besides Catboy and all that nonsense, which we can talk about the fact that the Jones family and how many hundreds of millions of dollars they lost in that crypto deal. And I have openly questioned several different times who, if Catboy actually has the money to sign these deals, because people just assume that he has access to the Cowboys' bank account, aka Jerry's bank. If you think that he has access to Jerry's bank account, I got a bridge to sell you. That ain't how Jerry operates. That's not how billionaires become billionaires. Jerry's spending money hand over fist in Arkansas. He's thrown, I think he's thrown over $300 million to Arkansas in the last couple of months. But that ain't nothing to him. Jerry makes Jerry makes 10, $20 million every time one of these stadiums open with the catering and parking and stuff. Ain't That's no big deal. What ventures does Catboy have where he can front one of these signing bonuses? You want to run the team, fine. You ain't going to run it with my money, which, in my opinion, is a perfectly reasonable stance, right? I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
if you're talking about handing out between Dak, Lamb, and Parsons, you're looking at $200 million worth of signing bonuses. Every bit of it. Fine, sign them. Write the check. Oh, you see, out of the way of my bank account, I got a checking and a savings. Oh, hey, write the check, dude. Write the check. I'm all for it. I'll take a picture with them when we. So there's that going on as well, along with the power struggle between Charlotte and Steven. There's It's interesting, man. This is as far as the dynamic off the field with this ownership group and the people all involved. I don't remember it ever being at a point like this, and I think it's just now starting. It's been going for a minute, but as far as the actual outward power struggle and possible leaks and stuff that may pop up in the coming months and years, we're just getting started. Yeah, you're right, Connor. This is literally an episode of Succession. There is a daughter who doesn't want the team or the company, whatever you want to call it. There's a son who desperately wants it that the current owner doesn't necessarily feel like he's earned. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot there, man. It's super juicy. And yeah, there's I see that the chat. Yeah, there's something to that you're going to figure it out the same way I figured it out. Because Jerry's hit damn near bankruptcy 3 times in his life. He made a shit ton of money in like '85, on oil and gas. Lost almost all of it. Lost almost all of it. Had to borrow, I think it was the remaining 45 million, may have been right at 50 million to buy the Cowboys because that's what he bought them for. It was 149 million dollars, 140 and some change, 150. Now they're worth, you know, I bet you couldn't buy this team for 15 billion if you're talking about getting it off of Jerry. And what if Jerry knows that Steven would sell this thing in a heartbeat to make that nut? That's a lot of money, dude. For you're talking about a guy whose net worth is on the high end $20 million on the high end, and he could sell this team, sell the Dallas Cowboys for. I'm out. He could sell it by the time we get off this podcast for $10 million cash. Somebody would have it.
10 million or 10 billion?
Sorry, billion. ten
I
billion
was about to
cash.
say.
I
Uh,
thought I said billion,
man,
but if I didn't, I apologize.
I was about to
This
say
is a
everybody named Mama would be running to try to buy
yeah,
the damn Dallas Cowboys for 10 mil.
yeah. Bezos would have bought him 6 times by now.
You
Um,
see that question by my guy Mr.
yeah,
Carr?
yeah. The grandkids are an interesting thing because they're currently on the quote unquote scouting staff. This weird family. I mean, there was grandkids in the combine interviews with these athletes.
Really?
The one that used to play for UT. Like one of the UT players was like, "Yeah, it was weird seeing what's his face in there. I can't. I'm blanking on the damn name, but they they're there. They're in the war room. They're in combine meetings. They're involved.
You hear that
But
bird?
yeah, they want it to be a family organization, but it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. No, Shaw Anderson is the ex husband who got the NDA signed. But yeah, Paxton Anderson. Good call, Bubba. Yeah, that's who it was. Shy is the one who allegedly, allegedly got us free of maybe even the Jones family, period, but especially Catboy and Jerry. Because if people remember about 4 or 5 years ago, there was those leaks coming out, these random, and there's still some ongoing lawsuits behind it. The
Hmm.
Rich Dow, dude, the, the Rich Dalrymple stuff got that. Sean's the one that put that in motion. They knew
Yeah,
about it.
that's still crazy to this day. That one.
Yeah, they knew it, dude. They knew about it,
Yeah, because they distanced themselves real quick with him.
and that got put into the media when they're
You see how quick that story got smothered,
gone,
right? Because it
gone.
happened, and remember how it popped off, and it was going on for about maybe a couple days, then it was gone. You didn't hear about it, like it's gone. Like you wouldn't even know if Rich ever even worked with the Dallas
Uh,
Cowboys,
they had a press conference like 3 days later with a new PR person. Everybody just act like it was cool.
right? That was crazy. They didn't even acknowledge him
Mm-mm. Wiped him.
ever again.
Hell, he may not be alive right now. I have no idea. I have no idea where Rich Dalrymple is. I have no
That's
idea.
crazy. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy though. You feel me? Like people, a lot of people don't be remembering that and talking about that. That was crazy, and they kept that on the hush
they
hush.
got
They
they
did
got
they
dude up
did
out of
hush
there.
money on, yeah, and they did hush money on that too.
It was to the tune of about $12 billion by the time it was all said and done. And the NDA between the Charlotte and Shaw divorce, that's locked. That's locked. That's probably in Fort Knox. That's right next to the existence of aliens. That's right
Hmm.
next to the information on who killed JFK. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that shit's gonna be. That shit is never, ever, ever, ever gonna see the light of day.
Right.
And
Well, hey,
these
now, but
current
hold up. Before you finish that, because this is juicy, real good. I like listening when you do this. But shout out to everybody in the building. We got 176 in the chat, 130 on the on the YouTube, and 46 on the Twitter. Appreciate everybody. Keep on coming in. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you like. Basically, my guy, Mike White, Big Game James, Burgers and Blitzes. You know, Mike always has the good, juicy stuff. And one of the reasons why I love having you on here, Mike, because you talk about behind the scenes. We can always talk football all day, right? We can talk the
Mhm.
X's and O's. We can talk to players. We can talk all those things. But these things like this that you are talking about that honestly have been going on, but all have been kind of quiet. These things will have an effect on this team, and they can have an
Mhm.
effect on the team during the season. And see,
Yeah.
these are the things that we bring up, and especially I listen to you that you bring up because I think these are factors, the reason why, not just players, because I also feel like maybe you just don't have the players. Along with the front office doing these things, maybe you just don't have the players because you keep getting there and it keeps failing. But go ahead and finish what you were saying about that Charlotte thing.
So there was news breaking about every 3 or 4 days that the divorce proceeding was going out, and it was anonymous sources, and it wasn't when it wasn't coming from Dallas Morning News. I knew who the anonymous source was. It was when it's an anonymous source and it's not from the Dallas Morning News. Jerry and or Steven, or in this case Charlotte, had no control over that narrative. It was somebody else feeding them information. And they got information about the other fun baby. They got information about Rich. They got information about some maybe not so above the board real estate dealings with Jerry's company. And all of a sudden, it got real muddy for the Jones family. And it just went away. It just went away. And have you heard the name Shy Anderson since?
Mm-mm. You even know that person exists.
I do. He's somewhere. Like I said, that's another one. I don't know if he's still alive. I bet he is, but I bet he's still alive somewhere with his toes in the sand and an umbrella in the top of that drink. I would assume. I ain't I ain't trying to look him up on Facebook or nothing, but that's the type of nonsense that this organization has been going on forever. And now that ties back into Charlotte is now clean. You don't have a significant other. You don't have an impending divorce that could happen. She has free shot to the blood ownership, if you will, of the Dallas Cowboys. Do you think that Catboy, with the way that he's lived life, just with a few things you may have heard along the way or on this podcast or something like this, you think that he's going to make it another 20, 30 years clean as far as media and allegations or anything like that go versus Charlotte, who is a single
I
powerful boss bitch at this moment? You see where I'm
I
getting at
agree.
here?
Yeah, I agree with Connor at that on that. What he said, the NFL would love Charlotte over Steven. I definitely feel I think they would because the NFL is trying to push that agenda because they want to get away from NFL players or the domestic violence things and things of that nature. It would make the NFL look so good if Charlotte Jones took over the Dallas Cowboys. I think.
She's not gonna say anything wrong. She's
Nope.
still she's still
She
throwing her
has a great
fastball,
person. She has
so
the
she's nice to look
personality.
at. Yeah,
She has the
and
personality.
she's gonna give Will the checkbook and get the hell out of the way.
She
is
ain't gonna
what will
be in the
happen.
way. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you because I told you I don't like the direction of this team. I don't like the way it's structured right now. Obviously, the players have something to do with it because they got they're on the field. But this is just I just don't like the way it is going. I don't like the structure. But honestly, Charlotte will be a person that would bring me back to more enthusiasm for the team because, as you said, Mike, she would do the right things, in my opinion.
Yeah,
She would put the
there's
right
no
people in place. She would take, hey, I ain't on this. I'm just here to run this team. Y'all do what y'all need to do with this football, and I'm gonna get out the way. Then I feel like you will start seeing different things with Dallas Cowboys. I really feel like it's something bigger than just the players choking because they have been choking. But it hasn't just been. It's just always something freaky with Dallas, right, Mike? All look at all these years, the games they've lost and things that have happened. They've all been like freaky, like
with
crazy, like win
with the
streaks and just
let-
crazy things that happen,
with the
Mike.
with the teams that are actually trying. Say like the Baltimores of the world, the San Francisco of the world, even the Chargers of the world, who are really trying. Who you don't even know their owners' names. You don't know that. I couldn't tell you. You held a gun to my head right now. I couldn't tell you the owner of the Niners. I could tell you the quote unquote GM is John Lynch. It's not. Everybody knows it's Channing. But the teams that are really, really, really trying still need so much luck to go their way. Now you can argue good teams create their own luck because that's true. But when you have to fight against all these other contributing factors, and once again we got the cop out of everybody gives Dallas their best punch because they do. Team other players have admitted it, retired players have admitted it, coaches have admitted it. That's when Dallas they circle those Dallas games on their roster. So when you've got that going against you, and you've got these other, Jerry wants to get out there in a press conference or a media interview on Tuesday morning and tell you the starting lineup of the offensive line. And Mike McCarthy's got to wake up to that. Like, what the fuck did he say? What did he say? I've said it several times. The coach, being a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, is like running an orphanage where the kids have an endless supply of matches. No matter how many matches you pick up, they still got a pocket full and they're playing with them over there in the corner. And they just trying to burn the house down. They just trying to burn the house
I
down, man.
mean, if that doesn't feel like the best analogy of it, like for real, they got just a
Just an
bunch of matches. Just
endless supply of matches. Every time you take another one out of their hand, they got another one. They trying to light the curtains up. Like, God damn it, man. I just I can't be
it
buying
feel,
no more curtains. I done bought 15 pair of curtains in 6 months. Like, quit lighting the damn house on fire. I got a team right over here. And to work in that environment, it's just so much going on. The Baltimores of the world don't have that going on. They're trying everything they can to get past Mahomes or Burrow or whatever the case may be, and they can't, despite their best efforts. How is a team that's not putting their best foot forth going to make it to the pinnacle of success? Because
that,
despite what anybody believes, 31 teams go home sad. 31 teams go home sad. It is what it is. And you get mad, people get mad, oh, 12 wins don't mean shit. When are we going to make the NFC? When's Dak going to do this? When's Dak going to do that? Why is it the quarterback or any player's fault? The longest tenured player here is Dak Prescott, or actually Jake Lawrence at this point. But the longest tenured player's been here 9 years, and y'all are going to straddle him with this 30 years of nonsense that's been going on? Ah, man, I can't. I can't with that. Like,
yeah.
my
I
dog,
mean,
I got heated up. I upset Steph, dog. I got heated. I upset my dog.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's that part of it. What you just said is where I really agree. When you said, "How do you actually see a team getting to the pinnacle of the Super Bowl, winning a
yeah.
Super Bowl, when they're not putting their every effort in and year out to get there?" And that's what I say. And people get in their feelings, get all butthurt or whatever, because I'm like, I don't see where Stephen Jones, because listen, we talked about it ourselves, Mike. At least Jerry, you can get mad at him for spending two first rounders. You can get mad at him for those trades, but he was trying. That's what I never got mad at him for. I got mad at him because he always just be talking and meddling, but I never got mad with of his aggressiveness because he was always trying to win. It's almost like Stephen Jones done neutered this dude or whatever, is trying to do it his way. And I don't know that way, bro.
He's still mad about the Brandon Carr deal, and that is the one free agent acquisition that actually worked.
Do you want them to
There's,
sign Dak?
I don't. I mean,
I don't. I
I've said,
don't.
I've said this several
I wish
different
they would
times.
have. I wish they would have just traded him.
Dak doesn't want to sign here.
I wish they would have traded him. Try
You're
and
watching.
draft him.
If you listen to Dak talk over the last, I would say probably year and a half, he breaks character every once in a while. And you're watching a man who grew up idolizing the Cowboys, wanting to be a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, made it to be a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, got a snowball's chance in hell to start because three quarterbacks in front of him got hurt, brings them more success than they've seen since the early '90s, and gets drugged through the mud for it, and sees these other teams try to do everything they can to get there. And these dudes want to pay, want to go spend two day three picks on Cooks and Gilmore and call it a day. And then you get to the playoffs and you lose because you ran up against a better team. And then said ownership turns around and puts it on the quarterback. How would you feel?
I mean, we know this. It's like I said. I have my own conflicting thoughts about Dak Prescott now. Nothing about him, as we all know about Dak Prescott. I love Dak on that aspect, but I don't know if it's with those two, if it's the leadership with the Joneses with him is why those things be happening. I or is it him? He can't get above that level. But I feel like it's both. I feel like I don't know if Dak. I don't know, man.
I,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't know because I don't know if Dak. Like when we talked about with Charlotte, I'm gonna just throw a hypothetical, right? Like in my brain and my mind right now, Mike, right? Let's say Charlotte was owning the team and Dak was the quarterback.
hmm
Maybe in my heart, I feel like more in my heart, I feel like we got a chance to get over the hump. Like I feel like he could do it. But I feel like with this Jones dynamic, with Steven and Jerry and him, they're not winning it with that dynamic. That dynamic is not winning it. I'm sorry. I don't believe it.
I don't, I don't think there's, I mean, on that tip, I don't think there's a quarterback alive or even maybe an NFL existence history that could overcome that.
Well, they was able to do it when they had a coach and
No
supremely
salary cap.
talented and no salary cap, obviously, yes.
And Catboy was drunk in Arkansas with his buddy with his flair police buddy for the hangout or hideaway bar or whatever the hell that damn thing was called. And even then, the way they won was going to get Novacek, going to getting Sanders, going to
That's
getting
what I'm saying.
Haley.
Aggressive, aggressive. There was no stone left unturned.
No,
That's
and
that's why you loved it. That's why we loved our Cowboys because
yeah,
we
they
loved that
tried.
aggressiveness. They tried every year, year in out. That's why you loved it. That's why you felt the hope. That's why you were excited because you knew Jerry was going to try. Even if he was effing up, I knew he at least would try. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, I totally agree. Bear 24. I've said that.
I,
That's why I said I question, I feel it's not just ownership, the players, the coaches. I just feel like it's a whole mix. And that's why since it's a whole mix of it, it doesn't work.
what
I
burns
can't
me
put my
up
can't
about
nobody
that
put a
damn
finger on it no more. Can't nobody put a finger on it
it's
no
a
more.
no, not a simple answer. What really burns me up is as a Dak fan, and I if people been around, they know that I have more than criticized him when it calls for it. That Green Bay game, yes, it did not start out right, but by the third quarter, Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, and Jake Ferguson were the only people still fighting as far as skill position players go on that side of the ball. Of course, Zach Martin's still hanging in there, and there's people doing that, but the rest of the team had quit. CeeDee Lamb quit in the first quarter.
Oh, but you know what? We know that's what Dak does. So I don't get hyped on that no more, Mike. Not
But
for me.
okay,
I know
what?
I
So
know Dak is going to battle. I know he's always going to battle. But Dak's got to continue to step up too because he didn't play good in that first half. He did not play good. He threw a bad interception. They all and listen what I'm saying, Mike. I'm not throwing this all on Dak. I promise you, this is not a Dak bashing thing. But when the first interception happened with Brandon Cooks, so many people who love Dak were quick to say, "Oh, Brandon Cooks didn't fight for that route." Or no, no, you threw a bad pass, dog. How many times we looked at that and that was a great play by that corner, but that was not a good pass in your own territory. It led to 7 points. Then you throw one and it runs back for a touchdown. Yes, and then it's always, CD Lamb got to do better than like this. I always hear it's got to be somebody else with Dak. And no, we have to be able to say, no, Dak Prescott, you didn't do it. Just like in that San Francisco.
okay,
And I mean,
defense,
I'm
go get a
sorry.
stop, give up
You're
48
right.
points.
But did they give up those 48 points in that first half when he gave up those two interceptions, though, Mike? Come on, man.
I watched Trevor Lawrence throw five fucking interceptions in a game.
And he came back and won, didn't he?
He he came
Well, the
back and
team came back and won, though, didn't it?
the
We
team.
ain't been able to do that. No, he
I
didn't.
watched
But the
I
team,
watched
the team came back.
I watched Lucas shoot 3 for 20 on 3 pointers when he kept honking it up. PJ Washington, you know what PJ Washington said? I got you, Playboy. I got you. I got you. We're gonna get there tonight.
Yeah, but also
Unfortunately,
you can't say that because if you didn't have a Luka Doncic, you don't even see these Mavericks. He is the driving force of why they're in these finals. Period.
like Dak wasn't second in MVP voting.
But what happened in the playoffs? I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
I don't care about
Okay. Well,
MVPs when you ain't
if
you
it,
ain't beating
if
Green
okay,
beating Green Bay.
If the NBA was second was single elimination, Luca would never make a game two.
But here's the thing, though. We can take
Here's
it.
the
I feel what you're saying with that, but let's look at it like this way. The first round of the playoffs will be the first round of the NFL, right? So even if they didn't, let's say they didn't beat OKC, right? Then you would say, well, they ain't doing no better than Dallas because Dallas has done at least got to that second round, but they haven't got to the
I
finals,
just
right? They haven't
I
got to the
just
NFC Championship.
it's held
But
to a
hold
standard.
up, hold up. The Mavericks have got to the Western Conference Finals 2 of the last 3 years, and they went with a team with him and Brunson and nobody else. That's why I was whack, dog. And they rode Luca's back. So you can't compare them to because Luca takes his team to finals. Dak has not. That's just the truth. And it's not always no
Listen,
Dak's fault.
imagine
See, this
if
is
they got to play
are we blaming the
Green Bay.
defense?
If they got to if your defense gives that 48 fucking points, you had a bad
I
game.
feel that. the defense was bad, but
Dude,
what about 2022
Jordan
then?
Love's
What about
EPA set a record by like two
you're
point
right,
three woes
but
per play. He was
so
tearing our ass up.
what about San Francisco 2022?
San Francisco's been the best team in the league for 10 years.
We should have beat them, right?
How? How?
That game at San Francisco,
How?
how should we have not? Our defense kept us in that game just without,
San Francisco should have 3 rings, but somehow Mike
but they don't.
Shanahan is their best asset and also their worst problem because he has a humiliation kink where he's like, oh hell, now I get to do it. Now I get to lose another Super Bowl,
Kansas
and
City
you
had a
forget.
little bit of luck too. You can't say that, right?
Oh, so
In
Mahomes
that
needed
Super Bowl.
luck.
No, no. We can't say he don't never need no luck in games too. Like he's just the almighty.
I, I literally this year when he put up what Kansas
I
City
agree,
had.
Marcus.
Kevin said he had 7 points, with 6 of them being field goals in the third quarter. They held them scoreless. Kansas City's defense got Mahomes back, or they would not have that other ring.
Right. But here's what I'm saying, Mike. That 2022 game, right? Just listen. I thought the defense played lights out in it. Do you not agree that our defense played lights out
Yeah,
in
but
that game?
you had a gimped up, whatever the hell fucking Michael Gallup is, C.D. Lamb, and Dak. That's it. That's all you had. That's it. Versus San Francisco.
We were driving in that game to go for a touchdown. The interception happened. Everybody want to blame Lamb. Was that Dak or Lamb? In your opinion, that bad
That
pass.
intercept, that intercept, that wasn't a bad pass. It hit him right in his fucking hands, dude. Hit him right in his hands. Hit him right in his hands.
I
Speaking
don't know,
of,
man. I just feel like everybody. I feel like y'all give Dak too many excuses, dog. You my
I don't.
homie. I love you, but y'all
I
give Dak too
don't.
many excuses, bro. Y'all do, in my opinion.
I tell him he shit his pants in the first half of that Green Bay game. I said that. I've already said it
Yes,
several times.
Bear
But
24.
the fact
Go
of the
ahead, go ahead,
matter
Mike.
is, there's 2 other quarters,
You right.
and
Stop. Leave that dog alone so he stop barking. I don't want to hear him.
there's another 30 minutes of football where it was Dak Prescott and Jake Ferguson and Tony Pollard versus everybody. That's what I saw. Like, yeah, sometimes you don't get a good half. Sometimes you don't get a good second half. Sometimes the whole fucking game doesn't go your way, like you're Joe Flacco, and you magically get a field goal off a defensive turnover to get a Super Bowl ring because you were the better team. I do not believe outside of that Dallas game versus the Rams, where Pancakes Anderson put up 300 of us on the ground. That team,
That was our
that
best
team could
chance.
have, that team could have won the Super Bowl.
That was our
That
best
team.
chance. And it didn't have a great defense, but it was one of those. It was that good. It was that year defense because
Yes.
LVE was playing tremendous. Him and Jaden Smith played tremendous together. That was I. That was his best chance because you
That
battled
was his
back
chance.
against
That was a
Seattle.
chance.
We opened up really good against the Rams too. I was feeling good. That was our best chance. When you see these last 3 years, you had really good chances, but I don't know, dog. It's just
I
that's
felt packed
crazy.
up. We've been doing this pod long enough. We've been doing this pod for both San Francisco games and the Green Bay game. I felt packed up when we're going into that weekend. Everybody made fun of me. Oh, I ain't worried about no Green Bay. I ain't worried about no Green Bay. Like, you gonna see.
Well, I knew that, but we also knew just like the first San Francisco playoff game when they came out that damn entrance, we knew okay, that was getting their ass kicked. Right? They even
It
said
was
they
just
was
it was
nervous.
just
You could
it
tell.
was that was the same
2022, Mike.
that was the same
2022,
vibe
Mike.
as the first Eli Manning ring,
Right.
where they were
Exactly.
balling. They had the
Right.
Jim Jones
Or
going.
even no. Yeah, I'm gonna even say '07 because I had that weird feeling in '07 because I was like, we got all this talent, but I just feel like we gonna choke it. I just felt like '07. That's why I was nervous. So I'm gonna say 2022 out of 21, 22, and 23, and those 3 years was our best. When Tony Pollard went down, yes, I heard somebody say in the chat, Marcus, when Tony Pollard went down, that hurt my soul because I felt like it was over then because we didn't have no offense after that. But that defense was lights out. That defense kept us in the game, and you know, I just feel like that's a time where Dak had his chance to really put his stamp on, okay, I'm Dak Prescott. I'm putting the team right here. We lost to Tony Pollard, but this is where I'm gonna make the plays to I'm gonna make the plays. We've seen quarterbacks, Mike, and you've seen it in history. Players have went down, whether it been a running back, a receiver, and not saying it's the quarterback who wins it, but we've seen that quarterback just take over, get lights out, and say, basically, I'm gonna will this team to win. And we seen it. And I haven't seen that moment in this type of atmosphere that do it. And I need to see that moment. I'm waiting for that moment.
This goes back to my original point: is Patrick Mahomes would not have one Super Bowl ring in Dallas.
You're right. I agree with that.
I'm not saying that Dak's infallible. I've never tried to put him in tier one. Tier one is Mahomes. That's where tier one is. He's got his own penthouse. He's got his own fucking hotel. He's got his private jet. He's got a helicopter pad, island, fortress, moat, whatever you want to say. That's where he stays. Stop trying to put any others, not you, but football conversation in general. Stop trying to put any of these other fucking losers on his tier. They don't belong there. And then here too, you got Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Allen Jackson, Chattahoochee. Yeah. Uh, I I don't even want to put Herbie in there after choking up 5 turnovers. I guess you kind of put him in there because,
Because the talent. You
but
got to
you know what
because
I'm.
he threw Matthew Stafford in there and he won. You get what I'm saying? You right situation too.
Yeah,
Going to
it's
right
just
situations. Everything's gotta be right when you're winning championships. We gotta
it's
say
it.
that right.
It's
It's
yeah. It's
everything's
the
gotta be right.
NFL, man. It's the
Yeah,
NFL,
everything's gotta
man.
be
It's
right. I mean, even when you're looking at Pat Mahomes, he had to have an Andy Reid, right? I think.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Andy Reid is a guru.
If that trade
That dog
back
need to
doesn't
shut the hell
happen and
up.
Mahomes goes to Chicago,
We don't know, right? The coaching matters because you got with
yeah,
the Andy Reid, it does matter. So,
yeah. I've been watching
those
Mahomes
are
since his freshman year of high school, and that
right.
dude gets. I see KC move up. I'm like, oh, they're coming to get him. They're coming to get him. Took him. Boy, it was. We were shooting our pistols at the house, buddy. Them guns was up because I knew that. And look at Andy, man. Andy looked like he was half a year from retirement. They pick up Mahomes, and Andy looks like he's 41 years old. Now he's still big as hell, but damn, that damn reverb muted. But
Is it doing that again?
yeah,
I mean, that's where I'm at. I just feel like all this is the same thing. Like, I just feel like it all compounds. It starts from the top, and then I feel like we don't got maybe we have really good players. We have some elite guys, but the supporting cast, I don't know. It's just always something. I just can't put a finger on it. It's just always something with this
it's hard.
organization. And
Here's the
it's just
unfortunate
hard
thing.
being a fan for this team, like, because
It's just
I'm
hard
just
winning.
frustrated.
It's hard winning, and
Dallas
it's
makes it
even
hard though. Dallas makes it
that's
hard.
what
Like
that's
that, Dallas
that's
makes the easy games hard games.
that's
And then
what
we
that
go like I just want to talk about. Man, I want to vent right quick, Mike. We
go ahead,
go
love.
to we play these teams, right? I'm just let's say when we get ready to play Buffalo. I'm sorry. I know we're gonna lose that game. I shouldn't feel like that as a Cowboys fan. We play Miami. Yeah, we're gonna lose. Figure out somehow, some way we can't win them games. Like the games that okay, this is the game. You going against the Bills, you going to Buffalo, show how you are elite. Nope, you get your ass kicked. You get what I'm saying? Every time there's a time for them to show they are elite, they be getting their ass handed to them. You know what I mean? But then we go back and play these these average teams. Nobody gets up for them. Nobody's hyped when we beat these average teams, dog. Like whenever it's one of these elite squads, like when that year when we played Mahomes, I know we had injuries, but it's always something. Why can't we just beat one of the, we can't just beat them? You know what I
This
mean?
goes
And I'm
that
just tired
that
of us
that
going
goes
to these
that goes back to
playoffs.
March and June. That goes back
Just
to March and June, where you're not making these smart acquisitions, where you don't go get a Wagner. You know, you don't go. Hell, Mike Thomas is sitting out there right now on the
and
couch.
you relying on the LVE.
You
Let's
get to
keep
the
it real.
playoffs. You get to the playoffs in 2023, 24, whatever you want to call it, and you literally do not have a linebacker. Like,
So when
how
we
is that?
talking about, that's what I'm saying. When we talking about the defense gave up, I mean, look what the defense was had though, dog. Like it wasn't a real defense.
Look at the offense they gave them. I mean, that ain't an
So
offense.
I'm gonna ask you then, this Mike. Why in the hell did all that happen with these linebackers in this past year? Why in the hell did that happen if Dan Quinn goes into Washington and gets all kind of linebackers, get all kind of defense, all go back to coaching the way he was? Oh, was this? I know this was just probably just his audition with Dallas, just to get him another job, whatever, whatever. But dog, was that him saying, "Oh, I don't need that linebacker. I'll take Marquise Bell and convert him to safety," or was this the front office like? We're like, what the like? I need some explanations with this, dog. You be knowing some of this stuff. What the hell? Why the hell are you cutting these linebackers, but you getting linebackers at another team? Is the front office saying, yeah, go ahead and cut them. We don't need them. Yo, we're cheap with it. Or is he saying, I don't need these linebackers. I can make this defense work. I need some answers a little bit.
Yes. Sorry, that sounds like a cop out. But there was players that he was tired of. There was players they counted on. There was players LVE was forced on him. LVE keeps being LVE was going to be the Sean Lee replacement. They were hoping on him. His doctor did the surgery. His neck's fine. Is this. And he did. Catboy didn't want to pay Wagner.
And he wanted Wagner.
Yes, look where he is.
And Wagner didn't have a bad year last year, right? But then
I
they,
mean, he's
but
fade,
then
he's
they, but
fading, but
see,
you're not expecting him to be a 90% snap guy. You're
but you
expecting him to
you
be a
gonna tell me
45,
right?
50%
But
snap
but
guy.
you gonna tell me last year Wagner wouldn't help that damn defense and it was already pretty damn good.
I
I'm
would have
not
helped the
saying you
damn
might.
defense last
No, I'm
year.
not saying you might, but you feel me? Like
I would have helped the defense last year
so when we
compared to the
say
linebackers they had out there.
so that's what I'm saying. So when we hear oh, Dan Quinn was because I'm mad at Quinn. There's still beef, Quinn. It's beef that you went over there because you're at Washington. But when I hear what you're talking about, Mike, and we hear Dan Quinn wanted linebackers. He wanted a Bobby Wagner. These are the guys I want. But guess what? These are the guys we ain't paying over here. We don't pay. We ain't paying that kind of stuff over here. So you're gonna have to work what you got. Are they saying that? And that's why he's like, all right, well then let me do some miracle working and convert
Six and a
Marquise
half
Bell.
mil.
Since you don't want to go ahead and get me linebackers, I'm gonna go ahead and make this happen. And then when it blows up in your face, don't come get mad at me because I'll be with another team.
I mean, dude, we lost Hankins for $2 million and Quinn was gone. So you tell me they don't need Hankins right now? They're going to have to sign DBs to make June 11th. They're going to have to sign linebackers to make June 11th. They're literally going to have to sign players to do a full 11 on 11 camp. You see, he had done everything right. That's a difficult conversation. That dude's got a little bit of destiny where you can mentally take him out of the game. This is bothering the hell out of me. I don't know why Twitch doing this.
All right. Well, we hour right on the dot anyway, so that's a beautiful thing. But man, if you ain't, we had still got 168 in the building. Appreciate everybody that was in the chat. Appreciate all the comments. Mike's got the reverb or whatever the thing is going on with his mic, and he don't want to. But we hit that hour. We're good. Next week there'll be more things going on with OTAs, obviously, because there'll be more things to talk about. But yeah, man, rewind this show, please. At least rewind the end part where Mike is talking about these Joneses, Charlotte, the power struggle, and just look at how it ended, and just where you see Dan Quinn, he wanted backers, he wanted linebackers, but Stephen Jones didn't want to pay, so now he had to flip and do this. So yeah, I get mad at Dan Quinn, but I get mad at the front office. So when I can get mad at a Dak Prescott, I can get mad at Stephen Jones for not helping a Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? So I can get mad at the player, but I can get mad at the front office for not helping the player, because they it goes hand in hand. It's just frustrating. But I appreciate you, dog.
So,
Always
uh,
appreciate you.
ending note: I am once again, for the people who missed it, I am Dan Quinn's king aunt. He did not ask Mazzy Smith to lose 50 pounds.
There it is.
Love y'all.
Appreciate
Thank y'all for coming
you.
by.
Appreciate you. Peace. All right, man. So y'all take that last part for where you want. I hear so many things in the street. You heard Papa Grandpa Zimmer say, hey, he was told to get made to a drop weight and go to a three tech. And Mike steadfastly says that Dan Quinn didn't make him lose that weight. Hmm. It's just to me a soap opera in Dallas, and like I said, I don't be feeling good about it. Feel like there's going to be regression. And the last thing that Mike said, in my opinion, some of the things that Mike says ring out to me when he says same things I'm saying. How do you expect a football team to go to the pinnacle, to go to a Super Bowl, but you're not doing everything to get them to a Super Bowl? You're not doing everything possible to get them to a chip. You're not exhausting every measure. You're not leaving every stone unturned. It's just I don't and I'm not falling for the fugazi like this is a Super Bowl year. Like this team is somehow better than last year. I can't believe that. Uh, it is what it is though. But hey, these Mavericks though, we'll see what happens. I said I feel like it's gonna be the same thing game one, like it usually is. All the other game ones, Jason Kidd and the Mavericks, I don't think have won a game one yet in the playoffs. So I just feel like Minnesota's gonna be hyped. They're gonna be crazy. Edwards, I feel like he's just gonna go bananas tonight. But it could be different. Dallas needs that first feel good game, and then they get it right back after that. Jason Kidd makes his adjustments, get in. But it's time for Washington to watch the playoffs. I love y'all. We'll talk to y'all. Burgers and Blitzes. You know what it is. We out. Peace.